you do want more powerful items. And the narrative missions aren't affected by the procedural difficulty scaling, so you will want to, if you want to progress the story or complete certain routes, you will want to upgrade anyway, and in effect still increase the difficulty of all the procedural missions in order to be able to deal with those missions. Oh boy. Get out of here. Oh no. Also, big thanks to everyone who's I think there's two of you, Maple and Micah Bagley. We added you guys to the credits. I think Maple's already in the credits for the longest time because he contributed to the Horde missions. Yeah, it really made Horde mode at least more varied. I didn't have to hear myself all the time. Please do submit more sounds, and we, like I said yesterday, we actually put up like a voice prompt sheet with some example phrases you might want to shout out, the kind of phrases generic soldiers would in the setting would say. Later we might request like faction specific stuff, but I'm actually thinking against it because faction specific stuff might involve different languages, so I might as well just. Also, I got a new status effect, which is, sorry, I'm back to the faction. Let me complete that thought. Most of the faction specific stuff involves using different languages, so I'm opting. I just want to leave that alone for a while, and just make generic. Just have a variety of different generic soldier sounds. It would be nice if you guys have your own like accent and diction and intonation. Like me, actually my accent's pretty weird now that I keep listening to it. But it makes it feel more like it's not just one culture that's pervasive throughout the empire. So it's a good. It actually adds. It makes stuff not too monotonous, basically. So that being said, I was able to get a positive status effect. The Imperial Legion likes the stuff I'm doing, so yeah, mission-based prestige gain +1. So that means when I do a mission for any of those guys, I actually get a bonus. So it's not here yet, but that's supposed to be marked in green. For example, if I work for let's say Stalwalder. Oh, I like ghost duels. They're my favorite missions now because I just kill him. Okay, so if I work for Ducaron because it's an Imperial subject, I actually get more prestige, like +1 base prestige, compared to the usual. The prestige you see is actually there's a multiplier. We have our own like internal formula for it, but let's just say it depends on the difficulty of the mission and a base multiplier. So that's what's affected by the. Oh, no. Oh, I forgot about the nuke. This guy. And he won't fall in the water. No. No, I need that healing. Gosh. No! Wait, I wasn't serious about that. I wanted to kill you on land. I was joking. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So there are the new features. Basically, the status effects from the non-manufacturer factions. So it might give you more incentive to like help them out. For example, the Imperial Legion just gives you +1 bonus prestige to everyone basically except the Spaghetti family, and the Piedrana separatists remain hard mode because they don't give you any real benefit. They're really just there like a challenge because you'll be enemies with everyone. Ducoron have their allies which have a stronger like bonus. Sunfield Frontiers, it's the same. Spaghetti family gives you cash, like a one-time cash bonus for each like friendship level you gain with them. And of course, the manufacturers give you unlock parts for you to buy. And uh, I know I've shown this off in Discord. I showed off doodles. That might be a coming like feature. There's a level called Paragon that some testers have achieved. Paragon basically represents you becoming part of the faction, like an important fixture of the faction, at least for the scope of the campaign. You're like one of their, you're basically like their representative at Paragon level. So only the four main factions don't have a Paragon level you can achieve in a campaign run, because they Paragon level for them is like finishing the game basically. For the corporate factions, the manufacturer factions, Spaghetti Family, they will give you. We intend for them to give you like cosmetic stuff outside your Archangel. So the doodles I showed at Discord, I should have prepared them, but I'll post them when they're done for public, because I'm also a bit ashamed of my doodles. They're basically alternate costumes. I know people have been asking about the avatars and stuff. Achieving Paragon will unlock stuff like the avatars. Basically, the characters wearing faction costumes. And yeah, that's another thing to look forward to. So there's really a lot of stuff to unlock. If you notice, there's a codex here, and that's done for a purpose. There's gonna be future stuff there, and yeah, that's the update for this week. I've been just talking straight and getting killed in missions because I want to just use minimal equipment. I think it's time to just look at the questions and answer them. So yeah, I like how you guys were just watching. We're putting up with that. Okay, so okay, doing good, you guys. Yeah, we're doing well. I like how single player missions really reinvigorated the game, because for a while it was really like quiet, especially after the last Cosmic Clash. We didn't have a lot of activity, but we were hammering out single player mode, and I'm glad single player mode, though incomplete, is keeping people playing the game and excited. The endings aren't colored red, green, and blue. No, they're colored purple, orange, and brown, and white. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, they're not. I know what you're referring to, but they're really different in terms of. I guess just wait for the actual narrative of the missions to come up. It's a smaller scale. I think people who have played the game, and I know there are crazy people who are up to turn 400 right now. I hope they've tried the other non-manufacturer factions. We actually put in some messages there that basically tell a story, but I think I shouldn't have put them there yet, because they're basically spoilers. I love the Archangel showdowns and alerts. I just wish the fights would last longer sometimes. Well, your weapons become really absurdly strong, so Space Magic, just rush him, lol, rip. Yeah. All streams back. Archangel tournament. Yeah, the Archangel tournament, we're holding off on it for now. We want to focus on getting the first narrative neutral ending mission in the game first. But yes, they might be free event fights. Basically, they're special event fights that only happen every few days. Yeah, I was really busy after the last CC, but SP is really fun. Glad, yeah, we're glad people like it. Pilots can use their spay money aside from buying mooks and other designs in the future. Right now salts are really just for unlocking parts, and they might stay that way depending on how development turns out. Because there's a lot of on our plate. For example, we have wait. I keep losing count. I keep losing count. What's wrong with me? Okay, for example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's not right. Yeah, 9. We have 9 corporations. That means that's 9 missions, and then there's gonna be 3 missions each for. Yeah, there's gonna be 3 missions each for 4, 12, and then there's gonna be a spaghetti. There's gonna be a spaghetti mission. Yeah. So 10, and then there's gonna be 22 missions we're gonna make by hand, and we'll have to make sure those missions are balanced. Balanced for specific, like we have an internal power level, basically power level measurement. So we just have to make sure it's balanced for that, and of course for the skill level of the players involved. So there are things I want to put in the game, like because you're friends with the Imperial Legion, they'll write letters of recommendation for certain factions, allowing you basically to re-roll the missions you have for that turn to include a faction you want them to recommend you to. So, for example, you're trying to unlock Eagle parts and you're low on Eagle prestige and you want to rush Eagle. You can basically acquire the services of the Imperial Legion because you're in good standing with them and ask them to write you a letter of recommendation, or basically just recommend you to Eagle, and an Eagle mission will appear on that turn. Of course, there's also the mercenaries, which we will see about adding. I mean, the systems are there. It's just a matter of making new buying systems that basically add support units. And of course, the support units will also have to track whether they're allowed to attack, for example, certain enemy factions, because of course you'll be hiring mercenaries from existing factions or manufacturer corporations. So you can't use Eagle mercenaries to fight Eagle, for example. They won't. It's not allowed in their contract, basically. So there was that. That's also on the that's also on the table. But yeah, we just want to get the base game out there. So right now, what we're doing is we're getting the faction bonuses and the manufacturer, the items you get to unlock. We're getting that completed first. Then we'll start adding stuff after we complete the narrative missions as well. So there were also ideas like using the Spaghetti family to rig tournaments. I like that idea, but the more I think about putting features specifically for the tournaments, I feel like it should be its own campaign mode, when in truth they were supposed originally just to be like it's their own separate tournaments. Were supposed to be separate mission types, just like a throwaway mission type, because the focus of the story should have been like the battle between Sunfield Frontier and Ducaron on this war-torn planet. So the more I think of putting stuff and features for tournament, it feels like there should be a campaign that's all about being a celebrity Archangel tournament fighter. But factions swearing in their native language, when I really don't want to risk that. I really don't want to risk that. I mean, we have damn, you bastard. We have stuff like that. But I don't want it excessive. I just want it like the occasional low chance of that. And even then, for me, the swearing we have in the game is kind of tame. So, it would be nice, but I want to keep the game as much as possible like PG-13 or something. So looks like Rebels, your soul special sabotage missions to weaken factions. Right now, factions don't really have a strength that you can affect. outside of plot points, especially since a lot of these factions are interstellar in size and you're really just fighting on a planet. So if you think you're like beating down Eagle hard, you have to consider that that's just like the Eagle branch on Baja Secunda you're dealing with. You're not actually dealing with the entirety of Eagle throughout the Solar Empire. Same with the Imperial Legion. So they really have a lot of resources they can just bring in, and it's really hard to track how well you're actually doing, since there are other ghosts also on the planet doing their own missions, and occasionally they cross paths with you. The more you offend a faction, the more those ghosts get sent to deal with you. So about weakening other factions, I'm not sure about that. You can appease them, however, by doing missions for them. But that's a nice idea. It's just that right now the current power level of a faction is irrelevant really to what the story is. So that's it. That's all about it. So not sure if we asked yet, but factions swearing. Okay, sorry, I read that. There's even Mechs version 3. Yeah, we still have to complete the version 3 of the body parts. And there are weapons, the newer ones, that don't have upgrades yet. So we also have to complete that. Faction Archangel tournament. That's interesting. But like I discussed before in the lore, there's a central Archangel tournament. So they're the ones who still handle the Archangel tournament, if ever. Donating money towards charity. That's actually interesting. Basically bribe factions. Although, just like I explained earlier, the factions you're dealing with are like interstellar entities. So the souls you're buying go into like individual parts, or basically parts and maintenance. Oh man, I'm sorry guys, it's really loud here. They go towards maintenance of that individual part. Like I said, it's at the bottom of the video. There's actually construction happening next door. This is part of the new office. It's just that I can only stream here because the internet's fast here compared to at home. Enemy side plus. The stream stopped when you were talking about a map? Oops, sorry. Yeah, like I said, the Solar Empire is basically a military. It's a really a glorified like military alliance. It was really formed just to fight the threat of the Demiurge. So they have a lot of military material, a lot of angels and archangels, and all that stuff is converging on Baja Secunda. Because it's one of the few war zones. It's currently peacetime. They actually are sitting on a lot of resources. So it just so happens Baja Secunda is one such war zone. But there are actually several other like skirmishes all over the galaxy, because the different factions have all this equipment, and of course they have agenda of their own. So they might be trying to get that agenda done while there's no demiurge to stop them. So there. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry guys, it's really loud. I didn't know it was this time. Anyway, I think I'll just answer more questions before we end this. If this is gonna continue, I think we're all gonna have a hard time. It cut off when you were talking about taking a map out of rotation? Would it be possible for factions to talk in their native language with accents for kill teams? It depends on what kind of voice clips we get. We actually have several voice clips of me yelling anime phrases, so that's Yoshikawa at least. I know we have Japanese players out there. I just I just am unsure if they're willing to submit. I'm afraid to Google Translate ask them. So there's that. Gosh. Okay. Demiurge route. Well, right now the 4 routes are hard to deal with, so I don't know about the Demiurge route. So yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm really sorry. I didn't know it would be this loud. So Jason was shaft map. Sorry. The shaft map is one of the more problematic maps we've been hearing about in terms of feedback. So we're considering removing it from like the normal procedural missions. We'll probably add it to a narrative mission, specific narrative missions where we can control where we place certain things like the what do you call this, control area and enemy spawns. So that's it for that map, I guess. Okay, so going back to I'm hearing people say stream died, but stream's up right now, and I think you guys are hearing that. Construction work. I thought they wouldn't have it today. I swear. I'm sorry. Might be like this for a few weeks, so I'll just answer the rest of the Wednesday Warzones, then I will see if we can cut this. Yeah, we're considering removing it, but we'll try to fix how it is currently. Basically, fix spawn points, limit, maybe help AI behavior. But if it's too much work just for that map, we might just remove the map. Anyway, next, let's go to Discord. I know there was a list of questions from. Okay. Alright, how many mission mode exclusive ghosts are in the game right now? I'm sorry, I'm not sure exclusive, but I can tell you there's about 50 ghosts. 50 ghosts you can encounter in missions mode. I think about 10 of them are in the character roster. 10 to 15. So do you plan for ghosts to get their own unique dialogue, be it spoken or written? It's more of a, if we can complete the goals we have laid out, we can add it in. But I do want that. I don't like that certain ghosts, especially those we've shown in the anime, for example, or are known to be female, for example, use our generic male voices. So we might change up some stuff. So now the objects can explode on the solar farm stage. Do you plan on adding any additional mission types, like environmental destruction, for instance? Yeah, so I hope you guys can understand me. Do you guys understand me? Because I hardly understand myself. It's terrible. Are there any if now that objects can explode on the solar farm stage, do you plan on adding any additional mission types like environmental destruction, for instance? No, it's actually harder to track things like that. We might add non-moving targets maybe in the future, but beyond that, no. Any ideas or concepts yet for the special weapon upgrades you are thinking about adding in mission mode for rank ups? We actually have a list of those. They just haven't been implemented yet because they would basically change the weapon. It'll be a different weapon. When certain weapons are upgraded, they'll basically be different weapons with different mechanics. Are color channels for upgraded items final? I noticed some like the flamethrower 1 to 2, which don't change too much visually, have their channels totally different. They're not final. We're gonna fix that. Any interesting entries to Fashion Fight that so far have caught your eye? Yeah, but I don't wanna I don't wanna shill yet, especially since they haven't made it to the public polling. General statement: super late game, Eagle is the most dangerous thing in the game, with revolver and rifle stun locking and suppression. Shenji isn't a slouch yet with mass swarm missiles. Uh, I think yeah, there's a clear discrepancy in terms of threat at late game, but at the same time, I think it also tells you about lore wise. It makes sense that, for example, Eagle is hard to deal with because of their mass range and high speed, for example, and why they're basically a big shot in the universe, and why Shenji was able to fight basically the Solar Empire. So, oh, that wasn't for the stream, but okay. Yeah, there was a final power up backpack. We can't show anything about that yet. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, good. I think I'll have to end it because I don't think this is ending anytime soon. I'll have to end the Wednesday Warzone, but I think I answered all the questions. Unless you guys want to ask any more questions. Are there any more questions before I end this? Because yeah, this is the first time it's gotten this bad. I'll just check basic. I'm gonna check if there's stuff we can do. Okay, will you be able to hire mercs yourself with souls? It's beyond the scope of our original plan. It's more of a I do like it. I do agree with it, but we want to complete the narrative missions first. But we'll see if we can sneak it in. It's a matter of adding new features to the menu. Uh, yeah, on top of other services and stuff. So, and basically, it's a new system separate from support. Basically we have to integrate it with existing support and protect target rules. If we give us for non-company circles, think this thing. Will there be any changes to the allied protection missions? Mostly the how AI will act. We'll see what we can do. Or do you think they are currently in their best spot? It's really, I think the only reason allied protection missions are not at their not are one of the most like problematic missions, the ones that people keep talking about. After that is area control, but I don't hear a lot of complaints about it anymore after the latest change. It's because of the existence of hazard maps and the AI, and we have to keep adjusting the AI around hazard maps. So it's either if it becomes too much of a problem, we'll probably remove hazard maps basically, or make it so that you can't do protect missions on hazard maps. But I feel like for what we have so far, personally, when I play protection missions, I feel like as long as I direct the flow of battle, it sounds chuny. Like if I make sure the enemies are in a place where it's pretty safe, the AI will tend to not jump into lava or fall into the water. We'll stick with you, but escorts will run off and start fights. This is the feared escort mission. I've noticed allies will stick with you, but escorts will run off and start fights. Yeah, right now it's also for their own good because they use the cruise flight to approach. I think cruise flight reduced the jump into lava, but I'm still hearing people jump into lava, jump into the water, ring out issues. Personally, because when I play, I rush into the enemy anyway. So, I think it fixed some of that. But if problems persist, we might have to change up stuff. I fail in the first 10 seconds. How come you guys? I mean, me, I just rush towards the enemy, and when I die in a protect mission, it's not because my allies died. Usually, easier on missions with buildings IMO. Yeah, anything without hazards is protect works nicely. I think survival needs to be shorter if you kill group. Currently, if you kill groups, you get time bonuses, and it's the same for protect missions. That's why I also rush into enemies because I kill them to shorten the time limit. For area control missions, killing enemies actually gives you a time extension. And also, if the enemies, less enemies on the control point means you get more points per second. So, yeah. Yeah, so there's also that if you're having a cool duel and then they fall into the water, then you don't get health. Then you're like, I won, but I don't get any health. So and I think the drilling stopped. Anyway, you guys are looking at a map and I'm answering questions. Are there anything else? Donating souls to factions isn't that much of a bad idea, since we're kind of paying. Oh, okay. I speak of the devil. Okay, kind of paying them to leave us alone. It is an optional task, so you can pay them or fight them. All depends on you. But the only issue I have with that bribe is if you choose to attack them again, it kind of feels out of character that you're paying them off and then you attack them again and then pay them off. Maybe I can have it if there's like a 3 count. Like the current like hostile. There's a negative warning before they outright declare war on you, because that's in the game settings right now. So maybe just rather than bribe them to leave you alone, you bribe them to get some prestige back. But I can't imagine it doing a lot of prestige. It's not like you took out a tactical base or you protected a vital asset that they hired you to protect. It's not the same. And basically the salts you have are just enough to buy you Archangel parts, so it might not have the same value. So anyway, I do like the idea of using salts to manage prestige or whatever though, so I might consider it. But like I said, that's out of the scope of our original idea, which is basically just like work for different factions, unlock items, choose a side, then that side has its own story and its own like passive stuff. So a lot of this came out as we were developing. We'd like to add them. We just want to complete the other stuff on our list. But yeah, we'll consider it. Also, we'll add to the entire. You can hire mercs, you can bribe factions or whatever. You can donate to look good to the Imperial Legion or to the Separatists, or I don't know, maybe bribe the Spaghetti family to get rid of an Archangel for you or something. Maybe they found out there's a ghost after you and then they get rid of him. Might be that sounds cool. We'll see if we can add that. Do you lose reputation for failing missions? Right now, no. And I think it might make the game too frustrating. Blackmailing. Rare event when an allied faction attacks you, then messages afterwards, "Sorry, wrong guy," and gives you salts. I like that. We'll try to add random messages like that. Yeah, pay Spaghetti to remove a ghost from a rotation. That actually sounds interesting. I might use that. Spaghetti to remove a ghost. For example, you guys are tired of dealing with Blondie, want her removed. Yeah. But what happens if they run out of ghosts on the planet? Who are these guys? How are they able to do this? Anyway, that's another thing. Another idea I've had bouncing around in my head. It's related to why the codex is there. Basically, we want another like faction system is basically your rivalries with ghosts. Like you track how many times you've been beaten by a ghost, how many times you've beat a ghost, and your interactions basically make it. You can basically ally with specific ghosts. something like that. But that's still like way in the future. It's on the same tier as having mercenaries, basically. So there. Any SP parts factions that you think need buffs, or nerfs? I don't think any faction needs nerfing. I do think certain factions need buffing. Level 3 Dominus kills the allies. Yeah, that's part of it. Don't use it when your allies are nearby. Don't, for example, yeah, same reason you don't use the nuke. I'm gonna pay $100 to. Okay. Who wants to remove Firebrand from the Ghost Rolls? I like how Firebrand already has a reputation, and I made him like a joke theme character. Same with Collateral Damage. Bounty the guy. There's 50 ghosts, right? Max 3 times. You love Sun Sparkle. I always dodges the railgun. Is this a bug because it's expensive? It's unintended, but we didn't expect the AI to be really like to do it often, but it was supposed to just be the AI can deal with the railgun when it's fired, but because people fire the railgun rarely, or because the AI has so much boost, it'll dodge the railgun every time. We could adjust that maybe for lower levels. They're less likely. Lower difficulty levels, they're less likely to dodge the railgun. But for higher levels, good luck hitting with it. So yeah, we'll try to adjust that. I understand the railgun's really expensive. There are price adjustments we're going to do for certain weapons and items. Some prices were expensive because of future plans in mind. Like certain weapons we thought certain weapons would become really strong with certain future features that aren't in the game yet. But right now, we repriced them for now to match their passive bonuses. Anyway, wow, I said I would end the stream, but you guys are really sticking with me and really asking questions, so I'm thankful for you guys. Yeah, I think I should end this Warzone. All people here are the Gorgon. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Nerf Vajra. Officer weapons in certain manufacturers feel too cheap. The Mountain Splitter goes in for 1,000? Okay, I'll have to double check that. That seems like a mistake. Buff Vajra. For single player, Vajra is really good. One of my earliest runs was double Vajra, and that's with the old difficulty spiking. Anyway, I really should end this. It's really just noisy all the time. So that was Wednesday Warzone. Thank you guys for putting up with this stream. It was supposed to be just a minor update, but there are many of you guys on, and really just putting up with this noise and answering questions and asking questions. So yeah, I'm glad you guys love it. Oh, and please do submit your sound files for if you want. We don't care if you're an amateur voice actor. We just want different sounding people. Just so, like I said, so that enemy soldiers sound different. They're not monotonous. They're not all. Oh, so everyone in the Empire is like has an American, has a Southern accent, for example. We do want different like voice types. In fact, it would be nice if we could have female voice actors just to be different. Higher pitch voice actors, basically. And of course, lower. I think our voice ranges are all in the middle ground. So, more stuff like that. Spiel's list on Chuny then. I actually put up a voice prompt. It's on the Twitter announcement I made yesterday, and it's also in the Steam discussion forum. Yeah, the Southern guy's so cheerful. Can we make back and shoulder Vajra too? Maybe in the future. But we will cut down on adding new weapons for a while. Oh, I know people might be sad. There's gonna be one more for June though, because we have to complete single player. It's our current plan. We just want to make complete Garrison Archangel, get it out of early access, and then we'll see if there's enough support to go from there. Because we also have our own considerations to make. So, but we're glad people are supporting the game, even if it's early access, and even if there's this drilling sound. You guys are sticking around. I really love that dedication. Oh, and remember, there's the fashion fight, and you guys have like 8 days left. What is today? See, I don't even I lost track of the date. The date. 22. You guys have 8 days left, so submit your mechs to the fashion fight tournament and get them in the game. Basically, be like Vol, who wins so many times because he keeps attending tournaments. I mean, it's free. You don't have to pay anything to enter. Just have a good fashion sense. Get your friends to vote for you. Yeah, get lots of friends to vote for you, especially those who don't have the game yet. And we even give you more chances to win because there's 2 categories. There's one for your general fashion and there's one for grunt design. So make the most grunt looking grunt or make the most fashionable high-end like main character final season mech. That's up to you too. I won't be joining since my internet got busted. What are you doing on YouTube? That's a contradiction right there. Anyway, so that's that. I'm kidding, Vol. That sucks. I heard all about it. Trap voices. How do you even trap voice? Anyway, I know there are people who can do that on YouTube. I've seen it. But if you can do that, please. We just want different voices. So I think that's it. Yeah. And just when the drills ended, I think this is the end of Wednesday Warzone for real now. This was Paolo. Thank you for everyone who put up with the stream despite all the drilling noises and the Gorgon sounds, and for really asking questions. This was supposed to be a short stream because I was just gonna show off the faction status messages and the eye glow to differentiate Ghost Archangels from non-Ghost Archangels, and just talk a bit about the lore. So it was nice to see you guys really like talking and giving suggestions and giving me some ideas for the future. But yeah, I'm sorry, we really have to end this. I'm not sure how long this construction will last. So that was Wednesday Warzone. Thank you everyone for listening. This was Paolo from the Garrison Archangel team, and many thanks from everyone in the Garrison Archangel team. So Sara, bye bye.